Okay, we're going to use this the same drawing that we have here. So you have, if you haven't yet, on your paper, I don't have an overhead on this now, I've drawn the images. Okay, and I want to show you some different notation. Instead of having to write T of Q and T of P, we can just write Q, and then this is Q with a little line up there. We call it Q prime. This is P. This is P prime. And that's just another way of noting that it's the image under that translation. This is line L. This is line L prime. And we had point U, and I didn't label the translation of U, but let's do that. It's right here. So this would be U prime right here, and that's a point. Okay, L is the whole line, L prime is the whole line, U prime and U are just the points. Okay, so what if I had, using this same translation, on my paper, if I had drawn some little image like so. I can come back here with my original. I'm going to get everything lined up. I'll use blue this time, but you get the point. The colors aren't that important. So now I'm going to translate that image. Let's call it that shape. What do we want to call this shape? We can call this shape, we'll call this shape G. Okay, and so its image is going to be G prime. And again, we're going to translate on the same vector. So its image ends up right here. And I can kind of almost trace it by its shadow right there. Okay, pretty close. That becomes G prime. Okay, so what we're doing is we're discovering some properties of translations. We know that points map to points, lines map to lines, figures map to figures that are the same shape and size. And there's one last thing we want to look at. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to draw an angle from the end of my line to Q and P. Okay, I don't know what that angle is. There's some angle right here. We can call it angle B. All right. And again, I'm going to get my overhead back here. Right there. And I'm going to translate this angle here. So I've got to draw that onto my sheet and translate it up. Okay, and this seems pretty obvious, but we're being very mathematically precise. And if I want to draw that angle in here, I'll get my paper up so I can do that. This is kind of tricky. Well, not really, because it's right there. I can see that that angle maps to another angle, so B and B prime. So an angle maps to an angle of the same size, if I had drawn it correctly. Okay.